Hello and welcome back to Assetto Corsa. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video for what is the beginning of the end of this particular series. Now, that does not mean Assetto Corsa is gone from my channel forever. Assetto Corsa Evo is almost upon us. By the time this video comes out, perhaps 2 weeks, if everything goes to plan for Kunos, for the early access, and then about 6 to 8 months, I believe, of early access. And I thought this is probably a good time to go back and start looking at some of the best things that I've experienced in Assetto Corsa over the past, I don't know how many years, 10 years, 11 years, I think 10 years. 2014 is when I started. No, it would be almost 11 years, yes, because this video comes out in 2025, I think. Might not. I have no idea. It comes out very close to 2025, if not just at the start of 2025. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a race, a 13-lap race around Suzuka circuit, which is a conversion from Assetto Corsa Competizione, which I actually own. So I'm okay with this conversion because I do own the actual circuit, and I do own ACC. And I thought I would take one of the best cars that I've ever driven in Assetto Corsa, which is the MX-5 Cup car. Absolutely fantastic racer, not a lot of power, but a fantastic racer overall. And whilst I'm racing, I'll talk a little bit about Assetto Corsa Evo, what I'm expecting to see on top of everything that has been announced, and also why I think Assetto Corsa was the simulator I kept going back to. And I have played Assetto Corsa. This is one of the few titles I have played outside of actually recording. So I think over the past year or so, I've played far more of this outside of recording than inside. So there we go. In fact, inside of recording, I've only done a couple of hours, I think. Make sure you stay tuned. Let's get started. And well, one thing that I will be glad to see the back of will be the Assetto Corsa AI. Let's have a look at whether or not they will be behaved today. Okay, here we go. Lights out, and we are good to go. Right, Assetto Corsa AI. Yes, I'm definitely looking forward to them going away with all their weird and wonky behaviour. Certainly hope that the new Assetto Corsa has far better AI. But what I'm really here to talk about with Assetto Corsa is, well, first off, this car, and two, Evo, and what Assetto Corsa has actually given us over all of these years. So this is like perhaps the swan song for Assetto Corsa. Just looking at this in front of us with pure LCS, with the shaders that have been created by Ilya, the custom shaders patch, the content manager, the dozens, if not hundreds, of mods available in Assetto Corsa. This title is going to slowly start tapering off, but I still think that it has some time left in it. Perhaps another couple of years, I would say. And the reason I say that is because with Assetto Corsa Evo, everything that I've learned thus far, it looks more Gran Turismo in style than perhaps this title does, which is actually really good because, well, Gran Turismo is a PlayStation only title. Assetto Corsa Evo could be the answer to people wanting Gran Turismo, but with full, or as best as can be, simulation levels of oh, there's a car on the inside. I'm not used to spoon curve, that's for sure. Simulation levels of physics, but with a PC and money and collecting cars and doing all of that kind of stuff. So I am interested in seeing what happens. There we go. That was a pretty decent overtake, I would say. Now, I've not driven this car for a little while, so I'm not entirely sure how good this car is going to be for me. Also, it's cold. It's a cold morning here at Suzuka. It's cold and it's misty as the sun comes up. But this is, I've done this intentionally because this is going to be a good comparison when Evo comes out. So Evo is one of the launch tracks for Evo is going to be Suzuka, along with Bathurst, Brands Hatch, and there were two others. What was it? Think brain, come on. So Suzuka, Bathurst, Brands Hatch. I think Imola might have been one, and I cannot recall what the last one is. It is not the Nürburgring, I can tell you that much. Unfortunately, the Nürburgring will be a while, as will all the free roam bits, which I'm sure if you're watching this channel you've probably already seen what Kunos have been on about. There will be 20 cars at launch. I really hope that this MX-5 Cup car is one of them, because this was one of the best things in Assetto Corsa, or is one of the best things in my opinion in Assetto Corsa, and I think a lot of people would probably agree with me. And to be able to throw this around, well, Suzuka in the new sim, and also to be able to potentially throw it around Bathurst. Bathurst is going to be fantastic, up and down Mount Panorama. I think that's going to be brilliant. So yes, this is, I just hope that all the goodness of Assetto Corsa, this version of Assetto Corsa that we currently have, is retained in Evo. And by that I mean I want to see modding available, and I know that the developers have said that modding is going to be there, but given the complexities of what we're seeing in Assetto Corsa Evo, that might be the thing that keeps Assetto Corsa alive. So what I'm going to do is probably refer to Assetto Corsa Evo as just Evo from now on, and this as Assetto Corsa. But I do think that is what will keep Assetto Corsa alive. If Evo's modding is quite difficult, then this will have a lot of life. And people have created all sorts of maps for this. The Suzuka Revival project, that is absolutely fantastic. And if anything, that is the kind of thing that will survive in this title. This title will become less about racing, less about tracks, and I think it will become more about just driving on free roam tracks, on highways. Somebody has created, I think someone has created Hamburg, the motorways and the areas around Hamburg. So that is another map that I think will survive, and that person I think is creating Sweden and parts of Denmark as well, which I think is going to be awesome. What other? The LA Canyons route, that is fantastic as well. So it's those sorts of things that I think will keep people coming back to Assetto Corsa. But when it comes to racing, and obviously the core of this title, the only thing that will keep people coming back will be mods. And speaking of mods, one of the things that I think could be really good in Evo is if they manage to get rid of all the bad mods, or as many bad mods as possible. So there are a lot of mods which are just really bad rips from other games, or just extremely bad physics, bad handling mods. And I know some people might say, well, if we want to mod our game in that way, then we should be allowed to. But I think there should be, personally, I think there should be maybe a form that has to be filled out on every single mod. Is this a realistic physics one? Is this designed for X, Y, Z? Is this more arcade? That's why when we get to downloading mods, we're not stuck in the situation that we are stuck in now, where there are times where you just do not know what kind of mod you are downloading. It's just completely unknown, and you have no idea whether the mod you've downloaded is going to be good or absolutely appalling. The mist appears to be clearing slowly. No, it doesn't. I was just looking up and I could see an aircraft, and I thought maybe it is clearing. Lap 4 of 13. I am concerned about my fuel already. So there's something for me to be concerned about, as I almost go into the back of the number 58. Back of the number 58. I need to get past this. I need to get past this car so that I can start trying to make my way further up the field. I mean, that is the point of racing, but yes. So the beginning of the end of this series for me. Now, this series is what started my channel in the first place. I'm not sure if the original video is available, complete with bad voice, bad, I don't know, bad driving, bad voice, bad everything. Oh yes, that was the video. I remember that was the first video we did, and not only did that take 6 or 7 attempts, but it was also rendered or recorded incorrectly when we did make the video. When we did actually make a video where we were like, oh, the voice is okay, and then it didn't, and then the video itself was stuck in 720p, but really in a really strange way, because we couldn't render it in 720, so it's like it thought it was 1080, and but it clearly wasn't, and there was like a black barrier, a border around it. Barrier? Well done. Border around it. I've not driven this car in quite some time. I'm really not doing a good job here. Really am not doing a good job of this. But honestly, with the amount of mods that have been developed for Assetto Corsa, it would be a shame if the title just died. That really would be a shame, because there is so much effort that people have put into it. And yes, they've got money for it, of course, but there is so much effort that has been put into it that I would want people to still come back to this title, or at least be able to move what they did, the work that they've done, into Evo. Because if they could do that, that would be incredible. But I think that is going to be really difficult. I do honestly think that's going to be a difficult thing to do. But I do want to see mods being able to be moved into Evo, and I want to see only the highest of the quality mods in Assetto Corsa Evo. Oh, I might have the overlap here. There we go, that's an overtake. And now I'm in a little bit of free air, and I will not have a clue how fast I can actually go. So, time to really put my foot down and see what I can do. I'm definitely letting that rev too hard in second. Do have to be careful of that. But yes, if you are watching this video and have made it this far, do let me know, what are your favourite memories of Assetto Corsa? Are you going to keep playing it even after? So certainly maybe whilst Evo is still being developed, sure. But how about after the early access period of Evo is over and there are 100 plus cars, or 100 cars in Evo, and you've got, I don't know, 15 tracks, 100 cars in Evo, will you continue playing Assetto Corsa, or will you completely move over to Evo? Because that is something I have to think of as well. With my limited game time and recording time, that is something I'm going to have to consider, is do I keep playing this? What could I keep doing in this once the Nürburgring is out? In Evo, I can move my Nordschleife challenge there and actually do that properly. The physics are going to be much better in Evo. I've already seen some of the suspension physics far improved over this, and this was pretty good. Do not get me wrong, this was pretty good. There were things that Assetto Corsa didn't do quite as well, but there were lots of things that it did fantastically well. So to see the improvements and then think, okay, am I going to go back to this or not, is going to be the big question. I think the thing that will keep me coming back will be tracks like the Shikoku Revival project, where obviously the tracks around the highways and roads around Tokyo. But apart from that, I'm not entirely certain, because as of late, or as of over this year, I've been looking at the number of mods that have been released, good quality mods, and I think it is dying off. Race cars, there are plenty, but just road cars or things like that, it is starting to die off. And for race cars, I think it's going to be Evo that I end up in. So that means that this will be, the title will start just being played less and less, and I don't know how many hours I've got in Assetto Corsa. Probably about 900, 1,000 hours, which I know for a lot of people is not a lot. They've got far more, but for me, that makes it my most played title ever. I think it does make it my most played title ever. I braked far too early for that. And I'm not making any headway here. I'm not making any headway whatsoever with the cars ahead. In fact, the first 3 have gone. And also, what happens to the leagues? Will the leagues still be playing in Assetto Corsa, or will they move over to Evo when, obviously, after the early access? So, for example, low fuel motorsports. What will happen to them? Because that, honestly, before Evo got announced, that was something I was thinking that should I have enough time to do some practice, I might actually make an attempt to race in that. But I never ever did get the time to practice, and now with Evo coming out, it's like, do I want to go into that multiplayer? I'll be spending a lot of time in Evo, and then where do I go from there? Maybe it will still be worth it, and I say this because there are, of course, titles that... Mr. Gear. that's ruined everything. There are, of course, titles that have withstood the test of time well beyond other titles that have come out, but I'm not sure of anything being a direct sequel. So, for example, people will not still play Gran Turismo 5 for with Gran Turismo 7 out. Mind you, that being said, there is that Gran Turismo 4 Spec 2 mod available, and that looks incredible. So maybe Gran Turismo is a bad example, or maybe that is the perfect example of, yes, it will still be relevant. The mist is definitely clearing now. I can see some clouds that, yes, it's definitely clearing. I also have temperature in my tyres, so I am able to push more now, but still, top 3 are gone. 234.79, right. Let's see if I can get that into the 233s, shall I? Turning into turn 1 is just such a good corner at Suzuka. In fact, I think every corner at Suzuka is great. From these S's over, is it Dunlop? The Degners are fantastic. The hairpin, and then going over to Spoon, and then 130R and the Casio Triangle. Every corner at Suzuka is fantastic. Should really be taking 3rd up here. But yes, Assetto Corsa, would it have survived this long without mods? Definitely not. The mods have kept this title going, and specifically, the mods I'm talking about here is the Content Shaders patch and Pure and Sol. Those are the 2 biggest mods that I think have kept Assetto Corsa alive this entire time. In all honesty, this does not look like a title from a small studio 10 years ago. There is just nothing that looks like this, and it also is a testament that the physics were good enough or fantastic back then and still good today, as the sun blinds me and I see a bunch of hot air balloons. Why am I so slow? Lap 8 of 13, I'm almost down to a quarter tank of fuel. So I do need to be concerned about that. That was much better. In fact, that was the best I've taken that. And I should point out that just recently I've had the opportunity, 233, I've had the opportunity to test Assetto Corsa out with VR, which is something I've not had the opportunity to do before. Just as a trial. It's not, I don't actually have VR, but just to test it out. And it's fantastic. It really is fantastic in VR. So I'm just wondering how good Evo is going to be. And one thing I do hope that Evo does also pull off is force feedback, better force feedback, especially when it comes to now that we have technologies like Logitech's True Force, Fanatec's Full Force, and whatever Thrustmaster come up with. That kind of stuff is going to make it will be like the next generation of force feedback. And I do think that is one improvement that will make a big difference. That and the AI, as I said. Even with the updates, with the CSP, the computer is still a bit, yeah, it's still a bit weird, the computer drivers. Sometimes they just pretend you're not there and that's it. I am closing on this driver now, but it isn't good enough. And I think we are both closing on 4th place. And funnily enough, it looks like 4th place is closing on 3rd place. Interesting. So we are all very slowly bunching up. But I do not think we'll make it before the end of do not think we'll make it before the end of the race. Nice little pass through Cassia Triangle. Now I can go chase after the next car, although the sunlight is a little blinding. Again, you would never have expected this from Assetto Corsa all those years ago. All those years ago, this would have never been a thing, and then Assetto Corsa would not have survived. So a testament to Kunos for making such a fantastic title, which was extremely moddable, and I hope that Evo follows in a similar vein. I've actually started playing Gran Turismo a little recently, and after seeing what Evo, or some of the things that Evo is going to have, I'm just thinking, sure, it is only going to have 100 cars at the end of early access, but say those 100 cars are 100 of the most sought after cars in driving titles, which I know they're not all going to be, because I've seen a picture of like a weird, really horrible, are they called crossovers? Really horrible cars. So I've seen a picture of a crossover, which I'm hoping is not going to make it into the game, and I've seen like an electric car, not even a sporty electric car. So in that sense, I know that all 100 are not going to be great. But if we have all the great cars that we could possibly have, I could see Assetto Corsa in a way replacing Gran Turismo. Not in its entirety, because Gran Turismo is special. It really is. But I could see Assetto Corsa really, I'll retract the word replace, and perhaps become a significant rival and alternative to Gran Turismo. And I know some people will say, well, what about Forza? Sure, I've never thought highly of Forza. I think it has its place, certainly, and yes, it is a rival to Gran Turismo, but I do not think that highly of it. And Project Cars just appears to have disappeared, really. I'm not sure what has happened to Project Cars, because I really do not see much discussion about that anymore. Either that, or I am very much completely out of the loop in terms of racing games, and what people talk about. I know that there's that new test drive game that is quite arcade though, but that also has the sort of buy cars, have a collection sort of thing, and I think that's great. I want to see all of that, or at least something similar to it, in Evo. And I know that there is some of that, at the very least, with tuning cars, buying cars, customizing them, tuning them to what you want them to be. So in that, yes, great. And that was something that I think Assetto Corsa's career, which never really caught on, I don't think, was sorely missing. Now on the flip side, if it becomes one of those titles that is entirely locked down by the fact that you have to buy your cars and earn credits in racing, and that is the only time you get to try cars out, then perhaps you're going to have more of an issue, and Assetto Corsa will remain compared to Evo as potentially being superior, because it's just a matter of, here's a car, drive it, see what you think, enjoy it. And if you take that away from the drivers, then it could be a problem. That's, again, just my opinion. Maybe a whole bunch of other people might disagree, completely disagree with that. 233.5. I can definitely go faster. Looks like the top two are fighting for position now, and it's probably going to be a battle for... It's going to be a battle for fourth, I think. Because third is too far away, and though I am catching up to fourth place, passing it might be a whole different matter. Number 71. Why are you breaking through this though? See, now I'm being really significantly held up. Come on, come on. We are clear. Right, let's go see if we can do anything about third place, should I say. 2 laps to go. Can I close fast enough to that car? I do not think I can. The MX-5 Cup car is fantastic. It truly is. This is one of the best cars Assetto Corsa ever introduced. I mean, and there were quite a few. There are a number of cars in Assetto Corsa that I thought were absolutely fantastic, but this was really right up there, pretty much at the top. Like, for example, there was a couple of Lotus cars that I thought were brilliant. The Ferrari, a couple of the Ferraris were brilliant. Porsche, they really knew how to get the Porsches feeling great. So the GT4, Cayman GT4, that was a fantastic car. One of the 911s was brilliant. I think the GT3 RS, I remember some years ago I did a video on it, and I think I slid it. I had a power slide in that car at 180 miles an hour at Spa, I think Blanchimont. At Blanchimont, I had a 180 miles an hour? I don't think it was 180, it might have been 150 miles an hour, something like that, some mid-100 miles an hour. I had a power slide, completely controlled, without any issue whatsoever. It was easy, it was absolutely simple to control, and completely felt completely realistic. So Assetto Corsa has had a number of moments. Some of the racing at Silverstone that I did, their three, when they released the Trinity, the hypercar Trinity, the P1, the 918 and the LaFerrari. That was fantastic too. All three cars, I remember driving them and doing some tests around Silverstone with them, and I managed to lap all three cars within I think half a second, 3/4 of a second of each other, but all three cars drove completely differently, and it was fantastic just to see that they had got those driving characteristics down. Yes, it may not have been one-to-one, well, it may not have been entirely accurate, but it was pretty close. I have left 5th place behind. If only I'd got past 5th place earlier, I would have been alright. But I suppose that is the point of racing. If you do not get past somebody, that's your problem, not theirs. They are there to race, they are there to ensure that you do not get past them. And there goes the fuel light. I think I would have lasted another 3 laps. That's the race. And there we go. So, the beginning of the end of this series, as I said. For those of you who have seen this series for many, many years, I do appreciate all the support. The Nordschleife Challenge, the short-lived career mode, all the mods that I reviewed, all the packs that I reviewed, Dream Pack, 1, 2, 3, Red Pack, Japanese Pack. Wasn't there a Ferrari pack or something? Just all of the various different mods that I reviewed, and official Kunos packs. The tracks were fantastic. Lake Louise, Shotoku Revival Project, the LA Canyons, Bob Gallo Raceway, I remember that was fantastic as well. Brilliantly made track. Donington Park, one of the best made tracks that I'd ever seen, and still is to this day one of the best made tracks that I've ever seen. So yes, to all those content creators, I know that I'm going to make a few more videos, but to all those content creators as well that have made all the cars, the skins, the various different textures, improvements, Ilya, Peter Bose, for the content shaders patch, for the custom shaders patch, the content manager, the Pure, Sol, Pure, and wasn't there something before Sol? I think there was something before Sol as well. And just for making, oh yes, it was called Good and Bad Weather. That's what it was called, Good and Bad Weather. For creating that and giving Assetto Corsa quite a life. I think that the community as a whole probably thanks you. Very grateful. I am certainly grateful for it, because it allows me to do things, and a lot of us to do things that we've never done, and we could probably never do. So yes, thank you for all of those. And this isn't really a thank you goodbye video, because of course, as I said, I think there's still some life left in this, but it will be coming to its end. This title will be coming to its end, I would say, in the next, if Assetto Corsa delivers the way we think it's going to deliver, then this title is coming to an end in maybe the next year or two. I think the next year or two is going to be it for the mainstay of this. Of course, there'll still be people that I'm sure will drive in this title, which is absolutely fine. I certainly will probably come back to it every now and then, but we will see. So thank you very much for watching. Please remember to click on the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Assetto Corsa. Well, the odd video on Assetto Corsa, but more videos on, or the start of videos on Assetto Corsa Evo. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think. Any suggestions you might have for anything that I haven't tried in Assetto Corsa, which I really should. Please do let me know, because I will try and make some time to try it and then do comparisons with Evo. If you can do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon, link in the description box below, as are links to my social media and Discord server. That is all from me, and I shall see you next time, either in Assetto Corsa or Assetto Corsa Evo. But either way, that is going to be Assetto Corsa. I shall see you next time in some form of Assetto Corsa. Maybe even Competizione. No, let's not go there.